Everybody, I'm Sean Robinson.
I'm Carson Grubaugh, and welcome to Living the Line. I don't
And
know.
we've
I'm
got
really excited, Sean. Sorry.
me, me too. That's why I've all dressed up here. Because
Yeah, this is official. There's like buttons on your shirt. What is that?
exactly. These are legit buttons. These are not snaps. You can just kind of, if I pull really hard, they'll actually pop off and make a little pop over
How
here
do
in the
they
negative
work though?
space.
I've been told now that I'm like in my 40s and have a career job, I'm supposed to be wearing button-up shirts, but I don't understand the technology.
This,
Like
you,
this just slides off and on.
right,
You have to
exactly.
do
Yeah.
extra stuff with that one.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Also, that's definitely one of those pieces of advice that's coming from somebody who's 20 years older than you, and thus even more out of date than us seasoned
Yeah,
seasoned
it's
fellows.
it's
Um,
always blue tucked into khakis. Tori wants me to wear a blue button up tucked into khakis so bad, and I can't.
they say dress for the job you want, which is why I'm always wearing flip flops.
Yeah, in Minnesota, in what is it? It's like three degrees there.
No, it's a warm day today. It's like 20,
Uh,
20
oh,
degrees.
okay. Ah, man, I miss
But
that.
enough chit chat.
Yeah,
So well, you guys are here for the party, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so you might have noticed from the heading on this video, which of course we haven't typed yet, but I have it on good authority. We'll actually be there. That we have 2,000 subscribers to the Live in the Line YouTube. Uh,
Plus, we've made it past. They beat us. Like we couldn't even get a video in before we jumped to 2010.
really appreciate that, and I know that everybody out there has different reasons for subscribing and different types of videos that they wish that we'd make more of, or less of other types. But we're doing our best, and we wanted to thank all 2,000 of you uh, by running a little contest. And so, first off, the prize that you're going to receive is every Living the Line book as of January 2022. I say every Living the Line book. I think I might cheat just a little bit because we have a few things that were like campaign extras for different stuff that I only have one of and I like to keep,
Mm.
a
Yeah.
copy of. But you will get a copy of You Don't Know Jack, of The Strange Death of Alex Raymond, of Plaza by Yoko Yamayuichi, of Abolition of Man 1 through 3, of Sala Nialo Path of the Shades, and a copy, God willing, and the creek don't rise, of Eric Creek's The Exile. All
Ooh.
of these you will receive a copy of, and all
And
you have
and
to
I bet by January we'll at least have Abolition 4 on hand.
that should be the case. Yeah, that should be the
Maybe.
case, but we will see.
Yeah.
I don't want to overpromise.
Yeah.
But whatever we have by the end of January, that's what we will be sending out to you. And that is a pretty good prize, I'd say. Uh,
It's pretty good chunk of really great comics. So yeah, that's awesome.
and
And
so
you're going back into the like pre-diamond days of Living the Line with You Don't Know Jack. That is a very rare. I actually have a copy right here. If people don't, I didn't know you were going to say that, but I do have a copy hanging around. If people don't know, there was a prequel that no one wanted to The Strange Death of Alex Raymond that has nothing to do with The Strange Death of Alex Raymond, other than that Jack, our comic store manager character, really deserved her own book. And Dave and I did a full 48-page comic that there's like 400 copies of it most.
yeah, and it was a lot of fun, and it's really funny and totally different tone than Strange Death of Alex Raymond, which I really enjoy. But yeah, so in order to get these things, here's what you need to do. Number one, there are two different ways of getting entry into this contest, and the first one is very, very simple. Be a subscriber to our YouTube channel and sign up for our mailing list. So
And if you're already both of those things,
you're already entered.
okay,
So
Sean has a way of tracking that.
it's true.
Okay.
So what you need to do is go to livingthelinebooks.com. We'll have a link below, livingthelinebooks.com, and you can sign up for our mailing list right on the front page there. There's the little MailChimp widget, and sign up for that mailing list. People who are on the mailing list and who are also subscribed to our YouTube channel, both those things at the same time, you automatically have an entry into the contest. Okay?
Woo! That sounds easy.
So good, right?
And
But
then
is
you
there?
get to find out about all the amazing books that you have coming up, which is like, of course you want to know about that.
That's true, and you know, I send out about 3 emails a month, and most of the time, you know, it's like promotional stuff, interviews with artists, you know, things like that. But I also try to throw out some interesting things. Last week, I shared an article that I wrote many years ago, many years ago, called "How Not to Make a Graphic Novel." Which you know was a interesting, fun article to write and was a big hit at the time. You know, like Scott McCloud shared it and it got a lot of traction.
Dang.
Back when comics Twitter could get you traction for stuff like that. Um,
I'm pretty sure it just gets you in trouble now. That's what comics Twitter's for, right? Just to get in
so
trouble.
bad. But back in 2014, it was a younger, more innocent
Yeah.
time. So anyway, I send out stuff like that and things like that, and you know, you can always ignore the emails if you want, but I quite enjoy putting them together and always enjoy it. So sign up for that email list and obviously continue being a subscriber. And then, Carson, if only there was a way they could double their odds for this
That would be
stunning
cool.
prize. It would be cool.
And potentially build up to a fun little project, maybe depending on what we get. But
Yeah.
we are going to run a this is perfect. We're going to run an art contest as well.
An
Except
art
this is a
contest.
very strange variation on an art contest, based on the fact that we started playing with the AI for the abolition of man in my play. Well, actually, Sean and I were collaborating on a piece for an anthology, the Told to Tell anthology. They wanted us to use the AI, and I
Yeah.
was pretty much done with AI at that point in my mind. I said,
Yeah,
well,
and mentally, you know, gone through the process of being crushed by it, spending months trying to restructure our lives and art making with the reality of obsolescence involved. Made a 160-page comic about obsolescence and about how you know, having no purpose ruins one's life and enjoyment of life. And then,
and then I had to make another one with it. So I decided to just have the AI. I wanted to know if it could generate comic pages, and started getting really wild results that I just thought were great. I thought they were great compositions. This is one I used, but at that point in time, they were still producing fairly nonsensical images. So I
right.
thought this would be great, in that, like, the machine is kind of pulling images out of the noise and then it's producing more noise. And so this contest is, I'm going to post this whole Google Drive folder of all of these pages that I've generated with the AI. And
Yeah.
then
These pages, like you said, like compositionally stunning and almost total nonsense in terms of the actual images.
yeah. And
Like
Sean and I have both done what we're asking you to do, which is to, and I'll prepare them so they'll all be in cyan only, so you can print them out in blue line. And then what we want you to do is ink over them and turn them into
content.
something. Try and make sense out of them. You know, so we're calling this Revenge of the Ink Slingers, and we want to put some kind of, yeah, like, meaning back into it, turning into something meaningful. So to give a couple examples, I think this is, yeah, you use this one here.
I did, and I think it's obvious what was compelling about it for me. Uh, and you know, it was interesting to sort of treat this as a mark making exercise. Uh, and you can see I kept the sort of compositional thrust of it, but tried to give him, you know, an arm,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hand, direction, and refined the face a little bit from what was there, and then tried to make it even wilder in terms of the ink and the dry brush, especially. I think it turned out pretty well.
yeah. It looks great, and it's got, yeah, human hand back in it.
Right.
And then here's that crazy maze looking one, and I just went through and just, I don't know, whatever you see in there, you know, like, just turn it into that thing. There's other ones where, like, it's a different style every panel. people could try and make sense of it. I was approaching it as just like every little piece. Well, I knew I was going to be talking about multiverses with the writing, so I knew that each piece could be wildly different, each panel. So approach it however you want, but that's the idea. Like, let's collaborate with the AI instead of fight against it, but also kind of like make sure that the end product still is reclaimed by a human. I think that's like the fun of this experiment. So what I'll do is I'll just run a filter on this to get these all blue lined up like this. We'll post it on the Google Drive. I'll put a link to that down there as well. And then how we want to do this, we want to do one entry for everyone that you do, or just we're going to limit it to one per person.
No, I think every page that somebody wants to do, and
okay,
it's fun
fantastic.
For you. Go nuts. And the sort of general idea would be that we could possibly make some type of collaborative project with it if we get enough entries. And if somebody's really interested in that, write to us when you're sending the things and we can discuss. But Carson and I, Carson, you wrote this collaboration that I sort of helped you with a few drawings. And that's going to be in the Told to Tell anthology that's coming out beginning of next year. Would you show us a page of the finished product?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'll show you the first page because it's probably the least revealing. So there's the first page of it, and that's, you can see what it was we overlaid Sean's images and my images. So the darker images were one page that I did, and then you can see that Jedi mind trick image that we just looked at from Sean, writing back there in the second color. And it was a lot of fun to work on this because we had no ability to plan any of this, and we didn't coordinate what our images were going to be either, and all three of them came together really perfectly. And then I had a general sense of what I wanted the topic I wanted to write about, but where the balloons were and how much space I had to write was predetermined by by what the AI put together. And there was one page that the second page, that's only 3 pages, but the second page, as soon as it was done, I had to send it to Sean, like, dude, it looks like we did this intentionally. And if you start reading the dialogue, it's even more. It's a lot of the choices seem really, really intentional, but it's not. It's entirely just happenstance that these things all lined up. So we had a ton of fun on the project, and I think, for all of the gloominess about the AI that we had while talking about abolition of man, like doing this, for me at least, I don't know about for you, but for me at least, gave me a little more hope, because it's like, well, this is really fun. I'm probably going to do more of this, and it broke open some creativity in my mind too. So hopefully this is a way, for whether people are pro or against AI, hopefully this is a way to have some fun with it and show, like, okay, it's out here. Here's some ways that we can use it where we're not just like, okay, let the AI generate the image. Like, here's how it can be a tool like Photoshop or something else. That's part of what I was trying to problem solve. So hopefully a lot of people engage with this. Yeah, every page that you turn in is an entry. So if you do 10 pages, you get 10 entries into the competition. And I think it's also important that we state that there's one prize, and this competition, these are just all entries, whether you're just subscribing and getting on the list, or turning in 10 drawings. Those are all just entries in the same competition. And then the drawing will be random. So we're not going to sit there and pick like our favorite page or something like that. These are all just entries. And yeah, when you send them in, we'll put a link to my email as well. So you send the pages to my email, and please just let me know if you're okay with us sharing it. And then if we do get enough that it seems reasonable to make some kind of collection of them, would you be okay with that? That would be useful information to have. And then we put a deadline on this because it has a art component to it. We're going to go ahead and have the deadline be January 7th. So people have pretty much minus 1 day. You have a whole month to get subscribed, get on the list, and then produce the artwork. And the more the better. So we're hoping people really, really have fun with this. I had a blast. This is probably the most fun I had making art in a long time, because I could just sit down and just go totally wild.
Yeah, there's something about Zen about looking at this noisiness and synthesizing it into a thing and realizing that that's the same process that's happening, you know, regardless of our status as humans or robots is a very interesting kind of thing. But yeah, I found it to be kind of a Zen type, activity, very similar to like calligraphy or something like that, where you're writing words if you write with calligraphy, but you're not actively engaged with the writing part of your brain. You're actively engaged with the mark making part of your brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I think it's a similar kind of thing where you have a sort of pseudo layout to work from.
Well, it's
I
kind
find
of
it,
like inking. It's kind of like the AI is the what would they call it, the rougher or the layout artist, and then you'd get those comics where it's not penciler and inker, but like rougher and finisher. It's
Mhm.
kind of that. That's how I was looking at it. It's like, okay, some editor has called me up and said, we got this guy. He makes these amazing compositions, but his anatomy sucks. Like, I don't. Can you make some sense out of this? Yeah, sure. I got it. This is fun. Like, that's how I was thinking about it. So I had a lot of fun. I got to ink the most lunatic page composer I've ever seen. Like, but probably crazier than even the stuff in Strange Death, or equivalently different,
Yeah,
singular.
absolutely. Awesome. Well, I hope that we get a lot of entries, and I hope that you guys have fun. And yeah, sign up for that mailing list because that is the easy one to do. You can do it right now, and then you are all set.
Right there. And then I look forward to seeing all your art. So thank you, everybody. And thank you all so much for getting us to the past 2,000 subscribers. I feel like it's been even quicker than I expected. And I don't know. I feel real good about it. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
really appreciate it. It's really heartening.
Yeah, you guys have a great one. Okay, take care.
Make sure to like, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell.